Hi guys, welcome to the first session of Practical Approach to Java. My name is Manohar and I'll be doing a series of video tutorials that covers the basics of Java and J2EE programming. So this course is targeted towards people who are new to Java programming, and if you are an experienced Java programmer, then this will be a very elementary course and not really helpful unless you want to brush up your basics. So firstly, you need a set of prerequisites to get the most out of this course. You need to have programming language principles such as functions, methods, variables, loops, arrays, and so on. And you need to have object-oriented programming concepts because Java is a purely object-oriented language. So it's good to have object-oriented programming concepts. And later on, we'll be exploring J2EE and web applications. So it's good to have a knowledge of HTML. But if not, that's fine because we'll be going over basics of HTML in later course. Okay. So Java is a high-level platform-independent language. By platform-independent, we mean a Java program written in one platform like Windows can be run on any other platform like a Mac or a Linux or Unix and so on. So and vice versa. So and the next thing is it's a high level language, which means that it has a source program and an object, a source file and an object file. So when you compile a source file, you end up getting an object file, and it's the object file which runs on a runtime environment. So first and foremost, you need to make sure that you have a Java runtime environment in your system. So one way to check if it is already there is by going into your command prompt. So go to Windows Run and type cmd. You get the command prompt, and here you can type Java. So here it says that the command is not recognized, which means that the Java is not installed in the system. So we need to get the setup file from the internet to install Java. So you can go to the internet, say download JDK 1.6. I'll explain what JDK is in a bit. And here you see you have different editions of Java. You have a standard edition, enterprise edition, micro edition, and so on. So I suggest you go for Java Enterprise Edition because it has certain features which we need later on in the course. So here the latest version right now is JDK 7, but I'll be installing the JDK 6. So just click on download. So here you see different setup files for different platforms. First you need to accept the license, and since we are running on Windows 64-bit, so I'll be using this setup file. So I have already installed that. It takes a couple of minutes to install, so I already have it in my system. The setup file looks something like this. You just double click on that. So while this installs, I'd like to explain what's the difference between JDK and JRE. So JRE is a Java runtime environment which can run already compiled Java programs, like it can run object files. But for us to write and compile source files, we need a JDK, which stands for Java Development Kit. The setup file which I have has both JDK and JRE bundled together, so we have both of them. Just say next. Typical installation, next. So you can install it in any folder. It doesn't matter. I just prefer to be in C drive, and just rename it as Java. And I have already gone through this process, so I won't be continuing from this point, but just say next, and the installation finishes. So once the installation is done, you go to your my computer C drive, and you have a folder here called Java, and inside that you have a folder called JDK. Inside JDK you have bin. So this is the folder where all the executable files are present, and you need these files to be running in the background whenever you run Java program. So let's copy this link, this path, and the next step is to tell the system where all the Java executable files are. So you need to set something called as an environment variable. So go to my computer, right click on my computer and properties, and go to advanced system settings and environment variables. Under system variables you have something called as path. Go to path, double click on that, and you already have something, but go to the end of the path and semicolon and paste the link which you had just copied of where all the executable Java executable files are, and say OK. Okay. Now let us go back to the command prompt and see whether the command is recognized now. Java. So it's saying it's not recognized. I think we need to like refresh the command prompt so that it's recognized. So I exit and come back to command prompt and say Java here. So you see, you get all these options now, which means that the JRE has been installed successfully in the system. Okay, so the next step I want to do is to verify whether everything has been installed properly or not. So we run a simple Java program to check that. So all you need is any form of editor like a notepad or a text pad to verify, to write a simple Java program. So you can notepad and public class test and public static void main string arguments. So if you're not understanding what I'm doing right now, that's fine, because I'll be explaining what all these stand for later sessions. This command is used to print something on the output device or the console. So let's say hello world, and let's send the method and the class, and let's save it. So I want to save this as a with an extension of .java, and the file name should be the same as the class name. So test.java Java, and I want to save it in the C drive. Let's create a new folder here, practical approach to Java. Let's say save. So now we have the source file saved. Let's go back to the command prompt and let's go to C drive, cd dot slash dot. So we are in the C drive now, and let's say cd paja, and now we know that the test.java is in this folder. So the command to compile that is java c test.java. So there is a syntax error public. Okay, there's a spelling error. So let us change this to static. Save it, and now let's try that command again. So it has compiled, and now to run the same to run the object file, just say java test, and there you go. So that's all for this session. Oh, one last thing, I want to show you the where the object file is. So the object file has the extension .class. So we see the output hello world. So that's all for this session, and if you have any doubts, you can post them in the comments section, and thank you for watching.